The two sportscasters joyously comment on Aiku's considerable defensive play while the whole stadium starts clamoring his name. Isagi analyzes that Aiku's defense took into account the pass and positioning of every player in his field of view, and that same reflex that he used to clear the ball is the one that Isagi desires in order to score goals. With his extreme physical abilities and high spatial awareness, Aiku is not a threat to take lightly, and unless they can crush Aiku, they won't be able to win this match. The game resumes and Isagi cannot afford to pass the ball through the middle as Nagi and Rin are being heavily guarded, and with Aiku on watch it isn't going to be easy to break through, so Isagi sees Otoyo on the right side. As Otoyo runs through the right wing, he is met by the under 20 side back Darai Miroku. Otoyo uses his off-ball movements to try and get past him, but Darai is able to keep up with him and he tells him that they are the same. Otoyo is unnerved by the fact that he can't get past him and that his anticipation and quickness are covering the areas he's trying to move to. After witnessing this, Isagi decides to pass the ball on the left side to Yukimiya. Yukimiya squares off against Nerutepe and he bursts past him by performing a laboba, but surprisingly he's able to keep up, and Yukimiya realizes that he's a speed type of defender. His one-on-one Emperor style is no match for Tepe's lightning fast defense. He's able to clear the ball from Yukimiya and Nagi heads towards it to try and score a goal, but Kazuma instantly stops him with his intense physical pressure, and with his strong core, he's able to block off Nagi from trapping the ball and scoring a goal. Aiku suddenly appears and clears the ball from Nagi, and Isagi is fascinated by the under 20 team's perfect defense that has effectively shut down Blue Lock's attack. You've stopped moving, Blue Lock. The ball is passed by Aiku to an open space. Shit, a vertical pass, going straight from the defender's line to the front line. Taking advantage of our momentary lapse, they flip their defense to their offense, and waiting there is Itoshi Sai. Here we go, boy genius. Time to show your stuff. Sai Itoshi switches to the offensive as the spectators watch in amazement. Chigri moves to guard Sai, and he notes that Blue Lock have already set defensive measures in place. The way it works is that Bachara and Chigri will rotate between offense and defense in order to balance each other out as they move around the field, and with Chigri's speed it will be difficult to get by him. Sai notices this, and so he does a 50-meter long range pass to the front line towards the attack. The ball is received by the under 20 forward Kento, and immediately Aryu is there to face him, but he passes the ball to the other under 20 forward Teru. Just as Ego planned, Karisu fell back to support the defensive line, but just as he did, Itoshi Sai has moved up the field near the goal area. With Sai open, Karisu calls out to Nico to deal with Sai as he realizes that he's the one orchestrating the under 20 team's advancing play. Nico comes forth to face Sai, and as he stalls him, Chigri moves back to contest with Sai. With Sai seemingly surrounded, he pulls off a gentle lob pass to the shock of Chigri and Nico, and his intended target is Sendo. Sendo shoots the ball and Gagumari immediately saves it in the nick of time. The ball is loose and Sai is running towards it. As the Blue Lock defenders run in to stop him, Sai sees an opening. Gagumari and Chigri notice the angle and dismiss the possibility of a goal, but Sai shoots the ball regardless, and from that distance, from that position, he scores the first goal for the Japanese under 20 team. The stadium erupts from the prodigy's goal, leaving Isagi astounded by his performance. With his ability and that crazy drive shot from that position, he wonders how perfect Sai's kicking ability is, not just in scoring but in his playmaking as well. This is the genius that the entirety of Japan has been eagerly waiting for. I get it now. The leading actor in this game is Itoshi Sai, and those of us from Blue Lock are just this week's bad guys for his act. Nobody is looking at the likes of us. Don't get swept away, Isagi. You just have to look at me. In 90 minutes, I'll turn those cheers into screams of anguish. The two commentators proclaim that they are bearing witness to the birth of a new Japanese football hero. The under 20 players run towards Sai, cheering him on for that goal, but Sai coldly tells them to cut it out. He informs them that he could have actually shot the ball 3 times, but he held himself back in order to facilitate for his teammates. but because of the incompetence of Sendo not scoring, he decided to do it himself. Aiku tells him that it was because of Gagamori's save, and Sai replies asking him then what's the point of a striker? Someone with worse scoring ability than a midfielder isn't worthy to be called a striker. Aiku asks him that with such a harsh criticism like that, how many strikers does Japan even have? And Sai tells him that the point of this match is to figure that out. Sendo is furious with Sai's words, and Aiku advises him to not miss the next chance he gets to score. Team Blue Lock are reflecting on the under-20s strategy. The team started the game off by fortifying their defensive line with 4 players, and with Blue Lock's primary attackers shut down, Sai Itoshi was used as a springboard to conduct their counter-attack. This is the Japanese under-20 team's football. Unri informs Ego that none of the things they practiced in the training camp are working, and Ego expected as much. He goes on to mention that practicing is just a demonstration of skill in a non-stress environment. When you perform well in practice, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success when it comes to the real thing. This concept is not only applied just to sports. The decisive difference between practice and the real deal is the presence of stress. By taking in everything, including the environment, your own bodily condition, your opponent's thoughts, and those factors that come into play, it can limit you into a downward spiral. And the only thing that can overcome that stress is by improvising. Unri is surprised with Ego's suggestion of not giving them any directions, and he tells her to trust them because their egoists can deliver. The game restarts, and with the under-20s difficult defensive line, Isagi still doesn't know the missing piece he needs, but he decides to discard all unnecessary thoughts and to use everything he's got to synchronize his plays with Ren. The two trade passes with one another, and when confronted by their defenders, their passing tempo increases, making it hard to keep up with the two of them. As both of them press forward, Rin kicks the ball back to Bachura. With a good view of the goal and all of the players, Blue Lock has got the advantage by a 3v2, and despite Nagi being guarded by IQ and Neo, they have a perfect chance to score. Isagi and Rin split, and Bachura sees the opening and shoots a long pass, not to Isagi or even Nagi, but to Itoshi Rin. Ego commends him for his improvisation and says that Rin's awakening will pave the road to victory. Hi guys, I hope everybody enjoyed that video. We saw how Sai Itoshi basically took control of the game immediately as he was given the ball, and trust me, Sai is a menace. You haven't seen anything yet from him. The next video is going to be very action heavy, and guys, you wouldn't want to miss that. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, please like, share, subscribe, and check out my under 20 playlist as well as my third selection playlist if you haven't. Thank you guys for your support when it comes to these videos. It motivates me to continue to make them. So yeah guys, until next week, stay blessed.